I stood and watched the tears in the eyes of the child, the parent, and the custodian as they related their tale and hugged each other. I had been asked to invite these three groups to the annual end of the year appreciation get-together with the custodians, in this case, a function I did with each of the groups in the school district. The meeting was standard, but this situation is a little different because we did not usually include parents or children. This was a special request. This was different. They had a special story to tell. The boy was a 5th grade child who had difficulty controlling himself and who too often found himself in conflict with others, with students. He found himself in conflict with recess aides, conflict with principals, conflict with teachers. He had a lot of problems. Fortunately, he had a very wise teacher who didn't care much for organizational charts or standard procedures. What he cared about was meeting the needs of each child, whatever difference they had and however their needs had to be met. Well, the teacher noticed how the child, the boy, when in need, often went to a particular custodian, because this custodian seemed to be able to work with this child, especially when he was distraught, better than anyone else. During problems or conflict, the boy was sent to this custodian. The results were much more positive and helpful to the boy than any other remedy. In fact, before the discovery of this approach, most remedies had been unsuccessful. The point: this custodian had no college degree, he had no special position, his salary was less than most others in the building, he spent his day mopping floors and cleaning up messes, but that didn't matter to the child, and it didn't matter to the parents. What did matter was that he had the ability to relate and do more for this child when he was in conflict than anyone else in the building. It isn't a level that makes a difference. A long time ago, I was a new teacher, and in the school district, as part of our orientation, all of us newbies were taken on a tour to acquaint ourselves with the city. One of the places we were taken was where they were building manufactured homes, and I asked the question how I would apply for a job were I interested. The HR person stated that I would have to fill out an application, but because I had a college degree, I would be put at the top of the stack. I thought, how strange. This was a hammer and nail project, and the HR person wouldn't know if I knew which end of the hammer to use. Regardless, she would put my application at the top of the hiring list. Don't do that. That level doesn't make so much difference. I want you as a leader, supervisor, director, CEO, or whatever your title now or in the future, to imagine and create an environment that is open, that is without class, without intimidation or reservations, and where brainstorming is not a special event for the top group, but a constant, everyday happening, a place where comments are welcomed from the lowest position on the chain in the organization, as well as, of course, those at the top. If you will do that, you and your staff will experience a growth and an exhilaration that will make coming to work a positive event. That brings us to synergy. As you are probably aware, synergy is a situation that produces more than the total. That is, in a brainstorming session, you get lists of ideas synergistically. All of these ideas create new ones, ultimately providing some totally new ideas or solutions. This stimulates a process of chaining. It will start new trains or chains of thought beyond the current need. People see things that maybe they have seen many times before, but now, because of the lists of things others have said, they see them differently. This process often creates what we commonly call inventions. Probably not the right name, is it, you know? Let me explain. When I first started college back in the dark ages, there were no computers. Was that because the elements for computers were not on the earth? Of course not. Computers evolved when individuals discovered that certain elements had certain properties and imagined possibilities. Of course, that excited others who expanded on the concept. So today, we even have, as you know, telephones that compute. Knowing that everything has always been possible, I've often thought how wonderful it would have been if the pioneers could have invented large cargo-carrying airplanes, loaded their oxen and wagon onto them, and flown across the country. Why didn't they do that? They did not know they could. But those planes were always possible. Do remember that. Everyone has ideas and perspectives. While synergy is not, by the way, a quality of a leader, it is a product of good leadership. It is also a concept that should permeate operations from staff development to problem solving and negotiations. Leaders who believe in synergy use the kind of evaluation tool I recommended in the first of this series. And plus, they have extensive follow-up in those kinds of things. And there's another part of synergy that plays in this series that we've been working with. While each of the sections are valuable, if you took any one of them, what really becomes impacting is when each becomes a part of your overall way of thinking, of functioning, and leading, that they all come together. The end result will be more than the total. There will be a transformation that will define your leadership. A final note, although there are too many companies and organizations where leadership isn't what it ought to be, there are others that have some vision, and I just suggest a couple in closing. One of them is Dent, D-E-N-T, and you can find it on the net under Original Dent the Future, and Zappos. Both have leadership and a vision of working with people as valuable, contributing individuals. They not only believe that their leadership operates that way. I hope you will review the sessions I have presented. Even more, I hope you will internalize them and make them part of how you operate. If you do, I guarantee greater success, greater positive influence on people particularly, and a greater enjoyment for you. I hope you review these and make them part of you and your management and your leadership. Thanks so much for being with me.